Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Dario here with another Options and Play video update. So, certainly an interesting start to the week when you get 3% gap down. It makes for kind of an eventful day, right? And really sets the tone for what had already been expected to be a pretty busy few days because of the earnings scheduled, but this kind of just adds to that. So, really shaping up to be kind of a wild week. Um, I wanted to spend some time going over silver SLV because there's been a lot of questions on it, or I've received a lot of questions on it, and I really like the way this is shaping up. I know I've talked about it the last few times we got together for our option sessions, and I wish it were moving faster, but even so, I still think it's very encouraging, especially with the way it's starting to start to take out some like really key levels. All right, and gold. So like when you can compare it to gold, you can see that obviously it's been lagging pretty materially. Okay, so you can if I go like let's go to a shorter time frame here. So gold already well through its September high, right? Silver still well off its September high. Gold year to date, so it's been even more impressive. You can see gold year to date kind of steadily cruising. Silver just starting to wake up. Hasn't had like the same rate of appreciation that gold has had. And you know, I definitely will say that gold, gets a lot of the attention, gets a lot of the volume, and that's fine. It's warranted. The action's been great, but silver probably worth taking a look at too, right? So, what I like about silver is just we'll start like a shorter time frame, but you can see that a really clean inverse head and shoulders has formed here, right? So really, really clean setup, and it's getting close to like breaking it, right? So you can see that head, shoulders, trigger in it, and then there's a really obvious target above, which was basically that early September high. Not to mention there's a gap to like 1835, right? So like that alone kind of interesting from like a shorter time frame, right? But what I think is also like really positive, and depending on like your view or like what your like opinion is on from like a longer perspective, right? I think the weekly is shaping up fantastic, right? So going back going back a long ways, this is always like the chart I go to that really kind of explains my opinion on it. So you can see that in the fall of last year, or like August September timeframe, you had this really monster volume surge down here, right, and a break of a 7-year downtrend. All right, so it took out like critical downtrend resistance on basically its best volume in 8 years. Right, it has consolidated, it's pulled back, consolidated, and held basically above the top of that trend and above all of its like kind of critical moving averages. So you had a break of a 7-year downtrend on absolutely massive volume, and it's held basically exactly where it needed to for retracement. And now, again, if you go from like a longer term perspective, you combine the shorter term trade, right? You got the inverse head and shoulders setting up for a potential breakout and a retest of that September, late August, September high, right? And you can see, obviously, if we take that out, that things open up even further with possibly 20 or even like the low 20s as like the next key area. So there's a lot of room higher if momentum starts to build. And that's why I really think it's an interesting trade. Again, it doesn't get as much attention as gold, but it's also one of the two names where I think probably has more explosive potential after like the start of the year, after like the last like couple months, just the way things are setting up. So I've really been focused on it. I know some of you guys have been asking questions about it. That's really one of the main reasons why, just because like the longer term perspective, and you got like the shorter term trigger developing, and then you got this longer term really interesting chart. So like kind of the combination of the two. All right. Um, So if you like these videos and you're looking for more information on options education or options trade ideas, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. All right. Hope you have a fantastic night and buckle up because it's going to be kind of a wild week. All right.